Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today I'm bringing you the better Spider-Man, at least from this update. For now, Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099, with his all-new, all-different uniform. Now, he is a paywall character, so for those of you that don't have him, this is going to be a tough pill to swallow, but he has gotten a pretty massive upgrade. And his massive upgrade not only makes him more viable, stronger for PvE content like World Boss, but it also makes him a lot stronger for PvP and Timeline Battle. Now, his uniform bonus is not very hot. It's just a 10% increased damage to supervillains, which does help him in World Boss and a little bit against like Thanos and a few other villains. But mainly you're going to want him against Jean Grey because of his tier 2 passive and because of his massive iframe on 5 with VPAD, with buff removal, with accumulation, and with just a ton of damage, as you will see. But in addition to that, you can see that my rank 328 Spider-Man 2099 at level 60 is still good for PvP, and this is the interesting thing. So we're going to take a look at his build really quickly. It centers around a CTP of Destruction, mainly as a hybrid build so that he can do both PvE and PvP. And this is what I really like about this character. Now, you might want to try a CTP of Regen if you find he's dying too much in PvP, and I'll test that out possibly when he gets to level 70 and I put some of his gears past 20. But for now, there's no point in giving him a Regen because if he's going to die without it, he's probably going to die with it at this stage with such low HP. He's got like less than 30,000. But check out his Uru's pretty defensive. On top of the 5-star physical attack, I kitted him with 8 dodge Urus at 5 stars, and then the rest are HP. So fully defensive. For the last 3 on each gear, they're fully defensive Uru. We've got an Overdrive ISO 8 set. Power of Angry Hulk would also be very good for the attack speed bonus because he does need max attack speed or very close to it, but we can't really do too much about that. You do want to level up his 5th skill to level 6 and his 3rd for the all defense down. Keep in mind for my World Boss gameplay that I'm about to show you, it's 10 seconds of all defense down. So while a lot of people liked to do 3 cancel 5 for his proc, I find that often procs on 3 by accident. So we're not going to be doing that. But otherwise, it's a pretty solid build if we take a look at the details page. He's almost capped on ignore defense. The cooldown could be a little bit higher, but that's okay. And then he's got 36 and 193 for the crits, 125 attack speed percentage, and then the dodge is at almost 60%. We want that dodge to be high for PvP. Now, if we were going to get him to Mythic, the uniform, if we did get it to Mythic, that last slot there, we would probably roll it to crit rate, just so we can bump that 36 up a little bit higher. But the 193 is nice from the CTP of Destruction with a 180 proc and a 25% chance to penetrate. Penetration is basically the only big skill that he's missing, or the big effect that he's missing in PvP besides healing. But check this out, he can still do PvE content. So we're going to go up against arguably the easiest world boss, but still, he's level 60, and this is a stage 60. This is pretty nice. His leadership also benefits, and it synergizes against Corvus because it's ignore dodge, and then we're going to throw in 2 pretty OP strikers. He does have the leadership tag, so he takes advantage of White Fox's tier 2 passive, and then we're going to dive in with 2 ignore dodge strikers, Deadpool, and Scarlet Witch, and sorry, we're actually going with 3 ignore dodge strikers, so we have 110% ignore dodge. So let's go and see how he does. Now, he doesn't have a heal, so if you do get hit a little bit too often, or if you get hit with a bleed, you're going to have to switch, and you're going to have to be mindful of those things because his Lila passive won't protect him from bleeds. It'll protect him from the second hit, but if the first hit applies bleed, you're still going to do damage. We're going to pop the 5 right away. It's actually quite good at triggering the proc on his obelisk, and then we're going to apply the all defense after that, and then we're going to go right back into 5. And this is, I think, a much smoother rotation. We'd get interrupted there, but in this case, what you can do is you can actually sprinkle in 4, and I find that 4 is much less likely to trigger his proc. But look at that insane damage. All you're doing is basically 2 skills worth of damage, and the range on his 5th skill, the fact that you can, now it is a bit dangerous because he does fly over to the boss at the end of the skill, so you can, you know, accidentally fly into him when he's doing some sort of charge-up move, like I almost did there against Corvus, but you can trigger this move from so far away. The range on the skill is beautiful, and it's a long duration, and it's, you know, a really great iframe, and of course, the best part is huge damage. When you get all the hits, and then they proc, you know, timely, and you get the all defense down, you're looking at a bar of damage, and he's doing a bar of damage. Yes, he's got 110% increased damage to supervillains, and actually with his uniform passive, it's 120%, but he's also got He's also only level 60, and I could give him a CTP of energy. You could possibly even give him a CTP of rage, and I could give him, you know, crit rate Urus. I could have built him up more offensively, but he's still good enough at this point to do this kind of hybrid build and still be good enough for PvE. The other thing you're going to notice about him, and it's difficult to notice, but you will see it at times, is that his 5th skill will continue most of the time, even if he doesn't have a target. I got snared there, which was kind of bad. But if you start to target someone and then they iframe in the middle, more often than not, Miguel will continue to shoot the webbing out as if there was a target there. So if they come out of their iframe early, you can actually continue to hit them. And this is something that I've observed in PvP a little bit more than in PvE, because they don't iframe as much, the world bosses. But it's really nice regardless, because it allows you to, whoa, I almost got hit there. It allows you to keep the damage up even when you do get interrupted. Now we're gonna apply the 3rd skill here. We're gonna do 4, and then we're gonna pop right into 5, and it should be massive damage here. Awesome, that was like easily over a bar's worth of damage. Really, really nice. And yeah, I am taking a bit more damage than I would like to take, and we might actually end up not clearing the stage because I'm taking damage. I'm going to switch here kind of proactively. I didn't want to take any damage, but man, his damage is so good. His DPS is so great. This is what Spider-Man should have been, but sadly wasn't. I'm going to pop the 5 here so that we can pop his 5 with the buff there and see how much extra damage this does. Very, very nice. Let's try to get a... we didn't get mind control, but we are going to be able to pop the 5 from so far away and start the damage off on him. And then we're going to have to switch here because we don't want to get bled here by these attacks. It's super killer, but we will be able to switch back over. Nick Fury's going to do a little bit of damage, but we're going to get this done with Spider-Man. I can feel it. I want to really... There, that was actually a pretty good example. If you could see through all of the chaos, that I was actually able to continue doing the 5th skill. I'm not sure if it was because of the Corvus clones, or if it's just, oh shoot, or if it's because of the, that was so dangerous, there were so many lines of flame. I don't know if it was because of the clones, or it's because of what I'm saying for his 5th skill, but it does continue. You try to pop off here. The one thing that you might notice, actually, that's not good, you know, I haven't said many negative things about his uniform. The one thing that you might notice, that was actually a really good example of the 5th skill continuing even after someone iframes, is there appears to be a gap in his 5th skill. We're going to finish him off here, basically finish him off. No, not yet. Not finish him off. There we go. With a minute left, level 60, stage 60. This is incredible. Now, Corvus is an easy world boss, but damn. Now, I was using Deadpool as well as a striker, but I think that's amazing. His damage is outstanding. That 5th skill hits like a truck full of trucks. So a level 70 Spider-Man 2099 is probably going to be able to push, you know, 55, possibly level 60 for Proxima, and then, you know, maybe 65 for Corvus, possibly, I don't know, in some cases maybe 70 if you have like a crazy build on him. That's just wild, especially if you get him to gear 25, slap on some 6-star Uru, etc. But I think really people are curious about his PvP potential, so I'm going to talk about a few tests that I did. Now, I was using a variation of this team with him, but I wasn't terribly happy with the results. And the reason why I'm not terribly happy with the results, we're going to change the team around a little bit just to benefit Spider-Man 2099 a little bit more, because although he does have a hybrid build, you know, mostly leaning towards PvP, he still has a lot of challenges because, like, he's level 60, so he still has a big gap to climb trying to fight tier 3 characters. But the main problem here, I know I'm missing about 2.5% skill cooldown, but the main problem is actually his 5th skill. Because it's on such a long cooldown, it's 16 seconds, I know you can't see it, but it's 16 seconds, and you know, you have to basically stall for the first 10 seconds. So bringing along someone like Dr. Doom, Corvus, someone like Jean Grey is pretty much a necessity. You can't play Spider-Man in front, basically, Spider-Man 2099, because you have to stall for so long. And he doesn't have an iframe on 1, he has a delayed iframe on 2, his iframe on 3 can also be sort of interrupted if they're faster. Basically, honestly, the way that I feel is that for PvP, he only has one good skill. Now, you will see that his PvP 5th skill is very strong, and hopefully I'll be able to show you right away in the first match, but other than his 5th skill, I do feel as though he's lacking a little bit, and I don't want to die here. If he uses his 4th skill, I'm pretty much toast. Okay, we didn't get the 4th skill. We're going to try to pop 5 right away against Jean Grey, and we get it off. We interrupted her iframe. Oh, man. We're dead. No, we're not dead. Pop 5 again. Are we going to kill her this time? I think we are. Come on, baby. Okay, we didn't get the kill there. Very tanky Jean Grey, almost 200,000 HP, more than my Jean Grey with a 30% bonus. So this guy has, you know, very strong cards. Probably has like 40-45% HP on his cards. Very defensive HP build for Jean Grey. I mean, I just noticed that's a lot of HP. He does get 10% from Wasp, but that's not, you know, I have 30%, so I should technically have more than him, but I almost killed her, and that's basically the value of Spider-Man 2099 in PvP. That 5th skill that you saw, that was almost strong enough at level 60 to kill a tier 3 Jean Grey. That's what a lot of people are going to be talking about. That's what a lot of people are going to be sort of remarking and saying, yo, Spider-Man 29, Spider-Man 29, yo, you guys see that? Yo, it's so sick. That's what they're talking about. So if you see, or if you hear the rumble, if you hear the bragging and the rumbling about Spider-Man 2099, it's in relation to his ability to do extreme amounts of damage with a basically uninterrupted 5th skill, and because it can remove the active buff, you can also catch someone if they're sort of if they just trigger their invincibility proc, for example. You can catch them and do damage and basically kill them, because you can remove the invincibility on their active buff. We're going to try to pop 5 right here, and boom, there we go, she's dead. And the nice thing about his 5th skill in this situation is that because Jean takes so long to revive, you actually have enough time to pop it again. So specifically against Jean Grey, and this is, I think, what we're going to start to see more of. We're going to start to see more of characters who are specifically built to counter other characters. We're pretty much toast here against Thanos. Oh, we got the 5th skill off. This is honestly by far the best fight I've ever had with Spider-Man 2099. That was amazing. I aced the team. I didn't think I was going to kill Thanos. I activated the Lila AI at the perfect moment before he could kill me. Honestly, I was having trouble against Doctor Strange's because he has the iframe ignore on 1. I was having trouble against Thanos's as well because they have such high HP, and because he's able to use his 1st skill to snatch away my buffs with the Mad Titan. But holy crap, that was the perfect fight. Now let me show you a bad fight, because even if we do get through Jean Grey here, I can almost guarantee we're completely toast. And so while Spider-Man 2099 appears to be a decent to possibly great, I don't want to be too confident here, decent to great counter to Jean Grey, there's no way he can fight. Oh, I'm dead. Damn. I was stupid there. I should have ran further away. So I triggered the Lila passive, which is why I wasn't getting hit. But then I stayed too close to her, and then I got hit by the little vortex thing later. So what I should have done is I should have ran to the other corner of the arena, and then when Jean Grey followed me, I could have pressed the 5th skill. You have to be a little bit more tactical with it. But like I was saying, there's a possibility, I would say there's a pretty strong possibility, like a 60-70% chance that Spider-Man 2099 will be a decent to good counter against Jean Grey. Looks like he will be. However, he is pretty much toast, garbage, terrible against Captain Marvel. He's also bad against Doctor Strange, but it's not as bad as Captain Marvel. In the case of Captain Marvel, she just pops the 4th skill and you're automatically dead. There I made the same mistake. I stayed close to her, but I was able to get her first life, which is impressive for a level 60 character. Remember, prior to Jean Grey, there basically weren't any level 60 characters that could kill tier 3 characters. There were some rare cases of it happening, but no one did it consistently, and no one had the damage to do it consistently. And then you have a character like Spider-Man 29 coming in and basically imitating Jean Grey when she was killing tier 3 Thanoses. But yeah, I can't necessarily show you because I'm going to have to keep running through this and it's kind of going to take too long. But you can basically take my word for it. The Lila passive doesn't protect him against Captain Marvel, and he basically gets one-shotted during that ability, during any iframe that he enters, and he won't have enough damage to generally kill her before she does 4 or 3. And she usually does that in combination, but he appears to be a pretty strong counter to Jean Grey. I'm gonna have to test him more heavily when he gets to level 70. Right now at level 60, I wasn't that impressed, which is why I was so surprised when I killed that entire team with him. That was my best run by far. I wasn't having very much luck on the live stream recently playing with him in PvP, but he does show flashes of brilliance, and he's still so good for PvE, even with a mostly PvP build. So with that being said, I think this uniform is a really great purchase, a really great pickup if you have the character tier 2. If you don't have him tier 2, if you have him tier 1, you know, I would think about it a little bit more, but tier 2, I think it's a great purchase. With that being said, let me know what you think of Spider-Man 2099. Let me know what you want to see next on the channel. Hit me up on Discord, join it. It's going to be here right now. Subscribe if you enjoy the content and you want to support me, and of course, if you like what you see, I hope to see you later today. Take care.